Hi there, welcome to Gail Abbey Fitness. I'm Gail Abbey. I've been in the industry for over 20, 30 years, to be honest. So this time of year is quite an exciting time because of all the news that's going on. But at the same time, I do get a little bit frustrated because for anyone new out there that is just starting to think about their nutrition or who is returning back to look after their nutrition. It can be a very confusing time because there's a lot of information out there, and there are a lot of people as well out there that are trying to sell products for fast fixes. So I'm coming on to tell you the truths about fast fixes. They don't work, okay? End of. They just don't work. There has to be you have to look after your nutrition, number one. That's what we have to do. So what I suggest is what you have to do. You have to have like an array of foods. We want you to try and get 30 different plant-based foods in a week. That's really important to do. But we need to look at the natural foods that we're eating. So it's quite in depth, but at the same time, it's quite simple. So your natural foods that you need to eat are from the ground, your plant-based foods. So your vegetables, your pulses, but at the same time, you need your proteins, and that can be the form of plant-based, or it's in the form of your meats and animal fats. It's completely your thing, your decision of to what you want to do on that. But you just remember that plant-based foods are what we need to have a lot of. They are very good for the digestive system. And science has proved now a lot of science is all based down to the microbiome, your gut. So what you put in your gut and what your microbiome sorts. So microbiome is like a little army of bacteria that's good bacteria. It's like bio, and it's completely, you've got so many different good gut bacteria in your gut. They're all different, and they all nourish you in different ways. So it's like we need to have that little army going on in there. So if you've just had, like most of us had, a Christmas season of eating a lot of high sugar, high fat foods, alcohol, all that type of thing, and we've had it consistently, a little bit going on, then this is all going to have some impact on your gut bacteria. It's not a great impact to have. So we need to pull that back. Now, why do we need the good gut bacteria? Well, because it really is the essential for your immune system. It is shown to have a response on anxiety, your mood, energy levels. Everything comes from your gut bacteria, your gut. So it's called your second brain. So your second brain, it's really important to nourish this second brain with the best foods. We also like to look at kimchi and kombucha and fermented foods like that, which are an acquired taste. So if you're not understanding what that is, it might be useful for you to make yourself some of those. If you can get a recipe for that and make those, they are like pure medicine. Now, I get asked a lot, do I need vitamins? Well, if your diet's really poor, you're going to struggle with getting vitamins from your food. And that's often why people think that a quick fix with a vitamin is going to fix it and they can go back to high processed foods. So not really. We need to stay eliminating high processed foods, and we need to get back to natural foods. And with that, of course, comes some complication in knowing how to cook those. So steadily, we need to understand how to get some good recipes together and start to be able to cook those. But we need to understand the real reason. So quality nutrition. It's good. We need to think about, especially now after Christmas, if you've had a spell of eating a lot of sugars, a lot of alcohol, processed foods, it's time to clear that out for a while and just get this good gut bacteria back by eating those 30 plant-based foods a week. Now, this doesn't mean 30 portions of broccoli or 30 portions of cauliflower. It means like herbs are counted as one. So each different herb is counted as one plant-based food. Okay, you've got like chili, spices. They are a plant-based food. Peppermint tea, green tea is a plant-based food, but you want 30 different so that you are nourishing your body as much as you can. So we need that. Now, is that all we need then? No, because we know that some people struggle to constantly eat plant-based foods, and it's a transition phase that you need to come through. So you may be trying to offset that with your processed foods and also trying to lose weight. Now, a lot of things are said that you can lose weight by calorie expenditure, calorie intake. Yes, you can. But it's very similar if you look at that by reducing your calories but still eating a lot of processed foods and rubbish like that, yeah, then your body is not getting the nutrients it wants. So it will keep asking you, ask you for other nutrients. And what eating processed foods does is constantly give you cravings for more processed and high salt, high sugar foods. So if you're having those high salt, high sugar foods, you'd be far better getting them in natural products, because that does eliminate that real craving, and that's what your body's asking for, but you can get it in natural products. If it's asking for a lot of high sugar, it could be that you are really a little bit, you need more energy, you need more carbohydrates, some of the good plant-based carbohydrates in it. So some root vegetables are great at this time of year. So like your potatoes, your butternut squash, those type of foods, carrots, parsnips, all those that you probably had on your Christmas dinner are great to have. They are, but you just have to then shunt into portion control. So your portion control are important. So let's take it back to, can you eat crap and lose weight? Yes, you can, as long as your calorie intake and calorie expenditure is lower. However, that is not going to nourish your gut. So over the long period of time, your weight loss on crap foods is going to be unsustainable, because your body is going to require some more foods, and it will keep that, it will sort of like eliminate the desire for natural foods, because you'll still be wanting all these processed salts and stuff like that. So it's important to really start to understand the quality nutrition that we need to put in. Can you then, will you have to then look at calories and that? Well, it depends how big your appetite is, and if there's appetite stimulants going on in other ways as well, then yes, you'd have to check in with your calories as well, just to be an idea, because a lot of people forget about portion sizes, portion control. Now, that doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be loads, but when I say to people you can eat as many natural foods as you want, then some people still get it slightly wrong and not understanding what natural is, so they are still overeating on certain things. Now, you have to look at your portion sizes. So say if I said to someone you could eat as many natural foods as you like, but then they smother it in gravy, you know, that's quite high. It's still another a salt and a processed thing. So you have to be careful of those sauces that you put on your natural foods as well, unless it's a natural product. So we have to look at the 30 different foods. As I said, we're looking for looking and nourishing your gut, because that reduces anxiety, it reduces mood, it stops any cravings, and it is good for your immune system. This time of year, we're susceptible. There are a lot of people are spreading germs and that and out there, and if you have a weakened immune system because of you are lacking in good gut bacteria, then you are more susceptible to be picking up those colds when they're going around. So we have to look at maybe as well looking at keeping a food journal. So keeping a food journal, what types you are, so you can see your 30 plant-based foods, and just get to know your own body a little bit more. Yeah. So one of the most important things as well is water. Maybe you're not drinking enough water. That is so important, especially after you've had all that rubbish over Christmas. This water is going to flush your system through. You've got dirty little particles all attached around in your body, and they need to be flushed through with good water, with filtered water, and so you're getting enough of that. A lot of people have digestive system issues and think that, or acid reflux and things like that, but that comes from eating a lot of processed foods or alcohol, or it comes from sometimes it could be some hereditary in there as well. But if you aren't just doing the simple thing like getting a lot of water and getting your water in, that can really help a lot with that, because it stops that acid reflux on there. So look at then maybe keeping a journal on what type of food you're eating. And if you have anything like acid reflux or IBS, or you think you may be gluten intolerant, or you think you might be dairy intolerant, then keeping a food diary will give you a good idea of that. If you had an allergy to gluten or dairy, it'd be highly likely that you would vomit when you had it, or you'd have to go to the toilet straight away when you had it the other way. A little bit of an upset stomach is usually a little bit of IBS, that type of thing. And, you'd always have to check in with your doctor to see anyway if you are getting obviously consistent things on that. But a lot of it can often be to do with the type of foods you have. Now, should I eat the same foods as you? No, I shouldn't, because some things that are good for me are not good for you. So if I said to you, okay, you need to eat broccoli, you need to eat cauliflower, but sometimes that doesn't work for some people. Sometimes they get a load of gas. Often I know that it can be because you're overeating the volume of that specific type of food. So, that's what creates like an issue there. So you have to have this sort of variety of foods, the 30 different veggies, to help you. So we want to have a look, and also maybe eating more bitter foods, because bitter foods take away the sweet cravings and start to, and especially with children have this sort of like, if you give them sweets, they start to want more sweets, and then it's like you need to have those bitter sweets, the bitter cravings. You need to have that bitter type food to eliminate those cravings. So we need now, after Christmas, with all this sweet stuff that we've had, to start to think about eating more bitter foods at the moment, to sort of eliminate that sweet cravings that we've had. So about microbiome as well, probiotics are really good. So, but you have to also watch about the probiotics, because a lot of things will go, it's probiotic. Media is so controversial out there. It's so we're so misinformed with media and what shops sell, because if they've got it on the bottle, so like low calorie, is often filled with a load of rubbish. So low sugar is usually got some substitute that isn't very good in for it. So check in with that. What about low fat? Same. There is some product put in there, so it makes it a more creamy consistency. That is not good. It's a higher processed situation on that. What about all these ones that go protein food? Well, again with that, the protein food, have you looked at the percentage of protein? Just because it's got it in, and the laws that kind of wrapped around marketing on foods, they are very strict, that you can have like just a few grams of protein, and that somebody can advertise and market that it's a protein food. And that's because it's a trend that comes in. So, people think that trends such as high protein is really going to really create the sale. And that's what we have to look at. You have to eliminate that. So you are better with like a full fat yogurt, and less of it than you are by going into some one of these flavored yogurts and things like that. You're better to put your own flavors in. Now, I know that can be quite a bit of faff, but you start to get used to it. You adapt, your tastes start to adapt. So think about right now, looking after your gut bacteria. That's what we want right now, okay? And then once you've done that, that's your first port of call, and maybe keeping a diary of those natural foods to see what symptoms you have that are wrapped around it, what things happen. Maybe you can see that your skin glows better when you're eating the natural foods. Maybe you are a lady in menopause and you notice that your hot flushes are reduced by eating more natural foods and eliminating alcohol and high sugar drinks. Don't forget those high sugar drinks, because 0 calorie Diet Coke is not any better for you, because it's still got a load of rubbish in it. So just think about where you are and what you can do about that. Don't be worried about getting lots of supplements and that you hear that are going to help you lose weight. Just focus on your natural foods and getting those in as much as possible. If you want more information on what natural foods are going to be good for you, then you can drop into my messages and I can and I'll send you. We have a program that we start on Saturday. We're going to start again. It's called the Body Mind Project, and we go really in depth every morning. We talk about either motivation or nutrition or exercise and everything wrapped around that, busting the latest science on all of that. The other thing I missed out there is about the new thing that you'll probably hear a lot, because there are always buzzwords around and trends that come and go. We've got something called time-restricted eating. Time-restricted eating is like the fasting that you'd have, that we started around 10, 11 years ago. But what it is now is that fasting people used to do because they wanted to make sure they had low calories, so that you are keeping your calorie restriction within a certain time. That is like when anything that you take a focus on that, like around trying to keep your calories and you're still carrying on eating a load of processed foods, that is a negative. That is a real negative. It's not one really that you want to be going down. The reason that time-restricted eating is good, and it doesn't have to be, don't go with what anyone else says. You haven't got to stop eating at 8 p.m. It's just an example. If you want to really try and get 12 to 14 hours of not eating, and that is because if I said to you, go on out and keep exercising 24 hours a day, keep working, don't sleep, don't rest, don't do anything. What it does is help your gut have a little bit of a rest during those hours. And it's good because then instead of trying to process up food, digesting your food and everything else, it can kind of like start to heal and start to replenish your good gut bacteria in those times. It's a bit like your waste dump from your brain when you are sleeping, that we need to have that waste dump out of your brain. You only get that during certain times, a little bit on exercise and a little bit of when you're sleeping, so clearing out your glymphatic system. So have a look at all those things and let me know how you get on. If you want help on all of this, then you can come into the Body Mind Project, and we kickstart again on as I said, Saturday for your prep phase. In that, you will get workout videos every day. You get a daily live like this every single day in the morning, 7:45, to kickstart you, to get you motivated and in the mood to move forward with the knowledge instead of having all this distraction going on around you. So let's join that if you want to. And what else do I do on that? So I put on recipes, and we put on those workout videos, which are based around strength training, because strength training is really important for bone density. It is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best ways to change your physique. It is so important for menopausal ladies and beyond. For lots of areas, and that's about exercise, which I'll do a talk on that another day. If you have any questions, drop into the comments. I'd love to help you. And yes, so and I'll be back soon. Please do send me any messages, emails if you want some help, and or questions for me to do a little talk like this on. Have I missed some stuff out? Loads. So yes, your time restricted eating is just a window of eating. So you're trying to get that 12 to 14 hour break so that you can heal and repair. Yeah. All right. Have a great afternoon. I hope that helps a little bit and starts to clear some things up if you've been watching lots of stuff and whether you should cut calories or whether you should go on a keto diet. So when you look, let me just touch on that. So if you're thinking about going on a special diet, yeah, often when I ask people, so any of them, even like if you're going on a shakes, if you're going on juicing, if you're going on anything like that, why is it that they work? Look at what you've given up to have that. You've probably been drinking over Christmas, either soft sugary drinks or you've been doing alcohol. So you'd be giving that up with any of these fad diets that have come up. You would be restricting certain foods. They'd probably tell you to get rid of your bread, to get rid of all the things that you've ate around Christmas. So, you know, all those croissants, cakes, ice cream, all of that. You'd be getting rid of that. All the rubbish you've ate, the chocolates would be going, everything like that. So those restricted diets like keto, that type of thing. Okay, so keto has been shown to prove some benefits with diabetes, some benefits. But the problem with diets like these is that they are not sustainable. So you probably do them for about 8 weeks and then you find that you've got to start eating the other things that you had because they're not sustainable. You find it difficult to find, you find it difficult to follow, you start to crave things. If you haven't got fats, you can't eat any fats in your keto and you can't eat any carbohydrates. You are going to struggle when you're out because you are going to really struggle to get those foods in on a regular basis. So you've got to look at what can be sustainable to you. And really we need to niche it down into what exactly are your foods that make you feel really good. Yeah, because when people say healthy foods, it might not be healthy for you because your body is different. We know that some people suffer from gut issues, yeah, and they can't actually have greens and vegetables and stuff like that because they have a reaction to it. So they often have to have the white stuff, the white bread, a little bit of white pasta, stuff like that. But there are other things around it, natural products that they can have. You just have to know what products you can have and what suit you. So there you have it. But yes, it is calories out and calories in, but you must really put in those 30 different foods to really be able to keep that and sustain those sort of programs. Have you got it? Yeah, I hope so. Anyway, I will go. I will be back soon. And